is really committed to taking care of urban street trees that are going to become firewood or mulch, if not for this guy. And he has a showroom in our shop at Sustainable Northwest Wood called the Epilogue showroom, and he does live edge slabs made out of salvaged logs that come from the Portland metro area. And I will let him take over and tell you a little bit about what he does with good wood.
Hi. Can people hear me back there okay? All right, just wave at me if I start to... Anyway, my name is Dave Barman. I co-own Fiddlehead LLC, which is a landscape construction business, and more recently, about 5 years ago, I started Epilogue LLC. We mill urban trees into lumber, a small sawmill operation. I live in Monteville, not too far from here, but my mill is located in Charbonneau, just south of Wilsonville. I have a wood riser, band sawmill, and a slabbing mill, and it feels weird to be inside and clean. And I just want to make wood for, was it castles for assholes? So if you know anybody, I'm open for business. So thanks, James.
I didn't hear that. Speak up.
Okay. Castles for assholes. I'm available to sell wood for castles for assholes, or landscape, either or both. Okay. Now I just wasted that time, so we got to start the time now. So, that was all warm up. All right. So this is the largest log that I ever got. This is a 23,000 pound, 8-foot diameter cedar of Lebanon. It was grown on the side of somebody's house in Sherwood. Cedar of Lebanon is native to the Middle East, so it's kind of a strange thing that there's, first off, a tree that's 8 feet in diameter that's only 90 years old, growing on the side of somebody's house. And I think that's kind of a strange thing about the urban environment. And even crazier, that the end result of what they were going to do with this is they were going to spend all day with a giant steel chainsaw that's 5-foot bar and cut it all up into pieces and burn it. And that's the end result. So it seems kind of counterintuitive. So it's kind of wild. Why would that happen? So this is one of the slabs. That's my daughter for scale. She's grown. She's probably up to there now. I'm actually about ready to try and figure out how to camera on these 6-foot wide slabs. So it's castles. It's for castles. This is the showroom that I have at Sustainable Northwest Wood. So we stock it with slabs from urban tree removals. I've also kind of ventured out from that. This last year there was some Oregon white oak being cleared for hazelnuts. About 5-10 minutes from my mill, so I ended up logging like 20 acres of oak trees and trying to get through 40 log truckloads of white oak. So it's been an interesting adventure. This is at the adjacent, the property owner of one of my mills out as a landscape, as a plant nursery. So anyway, I built a redwood conference table for them. This is a cherry bench that came from a landscaping project several years ago. They had a cherry tree that was planted too near the side of their house, and it was cut down. And I actually took this to my friend of mine, Jules Moorcroft, who used to run Urban Timber Works back when they had a mill over by OMSI, and he milled it up for me, and now it's a bench in my basement. So anyway, this is industrial forestry. You know, everybody knows you drive to the coast, you drive out to the countryside, and you're like, oh my God, wow, that's like the trees are all gone there. And most people are kind of comfortable with that. Giant machines like this very quickly turn trees into logs, which turn into lumber. And I think it's important that, as much as I have to take issue with some of the things in industrial forestry, I mean, we provide good jobs for people, and they're very efficient at getting lumber to market and providing that to people. And I have to say, in my adventure over the years, that I'm a lot less dogmatic about things that I probably would have been before I sort of know wood and understanding kind of what I've been. So back to the urban environment. Every year in North America, billions of dollars of usable lumber from urban trees is destroyed. That happens because there's no real plan for the wood, or like no one's thinking about lumber with urban trees. So like this is a good example. I actually milled this log yesterday. I'll have pictures up on Instagram. So Epilogue LLC, everybody needs to be on there. So anyway, one of the trees had a branch failure, smashed in the library, did a bunch of damage, cost $10,000 to remove the tree. I'll have some really cool wood. It's a great story. People with a fair amount of their upper middle class and wealthy people will buy that wood. It will go in their house. That's the end result. it's super cool. It was really weird to be doing a tree removal with people in the streetcar going like 3 feet from you while you're running chainsaws and dragging logs around with heavy equipment. So anyway, that's one of the main logs. That was like 10,000 pounds. So anyway, so I want to deviate a little bit from, like, obviously I mill urban trees and lumber. I'm super excited about it. It's really cool, but I kind of want to plant a seed. So you think about, what does all this cost, right? So this is you know, a stand of trees on any ubiquitous wherever place, and you're like, every one of those trees is $1,000 to $5,000 removal cost. So that's kind of crazy. So even if you take a really nice tree, cut it down, sell those logs, generally the value of the wood is going to be less than the cost of removal. So like, I literally field calls, as Kevin shaking his head, incessantly with people like trying to sell me something that it seems counterintuitive. I have this giant tree, why don't you want to buy it? And they're like, well, this is you know, it's like, it's one-off, it probably has metal in it, like, and people usually want you to come get it. So you're like, it's just on so many levels, and I can totally rant. I'll go on a rant about that later if anybody wants to talk about it. But you know, and so the question for me is like, so is this the best we can do? You know, this is along 205. I drive by this stretch near Westland every day. It's a giant field of grass. It costs money to mow that. So you know, that's not that great. So current problems with the urban lumber system. There's a lot of wood that's low quality because there's too many branches, improperly pruned to make good lumber. Supply is super inconsistent. One day I'm getting a cedar or Lebanon, the next day I'm getting a flowering plum, and I'm getting elm. You know, so it's like, how are you going to take that wood and consistently put it in a kiln and get that to market? And then people say, I love that, I want to buy more. And you're like, well, no one's called me. Maybe you'll have more in like the next 12 months to 2 years when somebody else randomly calls me about that same species of wood. High risk of hitting metal. I hit some insulators a couple weeks ago, threw away a couple $100 worth of blades. It's awesome. Love to do that. So, and it's also, there's a very high cost of maintenance and removal. So over the last several years, I've been kind of, you know, talking about, like, we have hazard trees, we cut it down, we burn it, then we import wood from really far away, and it's a very inefficient system. So I started to think about, like, what if we actually planned for the future with urban lumber in mind? So we planted trees, we limbed them while they're small, we geotag each tree, enroll it into a database, you have a tracking system for it. And so not only is it an amenity while it's alive, but it also can become building material. So anyway, so a couple of years ago in 2015, I worked with former state representative Julie Parrish. We got $400,000 in state funding and did a feasibility study about growing trees potentially for lumber. I'm probably about 4 to 6 months away from starting a startup. Anybody has like lots of capital, we want to like invest in a high-risk venture, I can talk to you about that. But basically we want to create a legacy tree company so we can plant and maintain trees for lumber in and around urban environments. So I think buildings should look like this. You know, everybody's like, well, we don't want trees near a building, but I mean, this looks amazing. It's beautiful. It's like being in a park. It's good for people. It's all the public health, environmental benefits, trees, and then conclude wood. And I think that's been kind of a disappointing thing that people in urban forestry have this very different idea that trees are only to live forever, and every tree in every city will die, and it just seems crazy to chop up and burn it. So anyway, and I will wrap up with a picture of my daughter again, who's helping plant some older trees across the street from my house.